Hey everybody, and welcome back to another X-Plane 11 stream. I do hope you're all keeping very well. So a couple of new bits and pieces to go through with you. I've upgraded my PC, which is savage news because it's after taking me so long to configure everything, and we're kind of getting there. Not fully there yet, but sure, look, we'll see how we go here. So as I'm messing around with my settings, alrighty. So we're here in Beverly Regional Airport, which is up in New England here, Massachusetts, just north of Boston. We're just going to hop down, do a quick flight, head towards Boston, and kind of do a long kind of a perimeter just to see what we can see. So we're back in the Coronado Cessna 172. We're fairly well familiar with this plane by now. So I'll go through a couple of the details of this new machine I have. So disappear the old music there. Alrighty, so jump into the cockpit here and we'll start getting things ready. Fuel tanks to both. Go ahead and get our battery on. Doesn't seem right. Fix our systems. Apply. Interesting. We've no looks like there's no power. Ah, wait. There you go. Shock horror. Turn off the avionics here. Okay, that can be our first little bug. So, yeah, as I was saying, got a new PC. So basically, it allows us to have the settings up relatively high. I found that anti-aliasing, it holds the frames, but just not as well. So we have them brought down just a small bit. The reflections, they're still an issue. They work well in some areas, but not where you have a whole load of land and sea and cities and whatever else. So yeah, so that's all pretty cool. So we continue. We'll get this machine started up here. So fuel selectors to both. I'm going to put our mixture in. Open our throttle 1/4. Thanks for the warning. Fuel pump can come on. And off. Lean our mixture here. Open our little window. Clear prop. Turn the key in the mag. Good start on the engine. And the RPM's up to about 1,000. Leave it sit. Close the window here now as well. So we can get our strobes, get our pitos on here as well. Avionics can come on. And we'll zoom in our little map here. So our plan is we're just going to take off out of Beverly, head down towards Boston. We'll pass Logan and just kind of stay in the pattern-ish. So this being a new system, if you guys can let me know how audio and video is working, that would be handy. Jump outside here, make sure everything doing what it should be. Alrighty, cool. So we'll get ourselves airborne here and we'll start going through the new specs. keep an eye out for kamikaze drivers here. Alrighty. So as we're taxiing, when we take off, we're going to fly our runway heading. We're going to go up to 4,000 feet. Nice evening shots here. This is all default scenery, by the way, so there's nothing nothing too major going on. The weather is being provided by Ultraweather XP. We have SFX, no it's not, it's FS Global Real Weather getting our data to throw in. And we have XP Realistic Pro running as well. So a good chunk of add-ons running. We'll go through some of these now once we get airborne. Hey John, thanks for joining the stream here. Everything seems clear and smooth. That's good. Such a job. So I got this PC last week. Oh no, about 2 weeks ago now. And whatever about like moving X-Plane over onto a new system, which can be relatively straightforward. Like if you have it installed on an SSD, you know, just bring it with you. But getting your settings right, and there's so many settings you need to get right. Everything from your NVIDIA to how Windows behaves, your antivirus behaves with it. Okay, runway's clear. Get ourselves lined up here. Okay, sit tight here now for a sec. So we'll get our heading bug zeroed here. That'll be our runway heading. Lights are all okay. Transponder can come on here now to VFR. Okay, that's looking good. Power, mixture, fuel, temperatures and pressures in the green. Alright, let's boogie on out. Okay, power set. Airspeed's alive, looking for 55 as we apply a bit of right rudder. There's 55. Bring the nose up. And airborne. It can be a little bit choppy and bumpy just as you come over the tree line here. Continue to fly runway heading. There's a bit of the bumpiness there now. Climb power is good, 80 knots. Ideal climb rate. It's giving us about 700 feet per minute. Alright, not too bad. Continue our climb here. We'll jump over now and get our autopilot set up. So go to heading mode, autopilot on. We've got 4,000 feet set, vertical speed mode. Bring you down before we stall. There's the stall. Okay, iron out the creases, huh? Okay, climb is good. What we're going to be doing, we're going to take a turn out to the left here, out to the coast. Nearly do that now. So turn left heading 180. It'll bring us out towards the coastline, then we can turn right and down into Boston. Also, as we're climbing, you have to lean your mixture out a little bit as the air gets thinner. You'll see the RPM rising here as I'm pulling the mixture out. Only small little movements. Alright, so get our landing lights off. We don't need them for a bit. Should be healthy enough to do a 700 feet a minute climb. Keep an eye on our speed here, but all should be well. Yeah, we're not looking too bad. So just over the nose here you can see Logan slightly to the right. Yeah, the clouds are looking fairly decent with Ultra Weather XP. They're working fine, and again, there's with the NVIDIA drivers, I know for the last ones that came out, they were a little bit shaky. There was nothing but stuttering, so I've had to use VSync. Basically what that does, it just locks your frame rate to the refresh rate of your monitor. So for example, in X-Plane I can get anywhere between 40 to 100 frames, depends where you're flying. So if you put your VSync on, it'll actually lock the frame rate to whatever your monitor is. So if it's a normal TV or whatever, it'll probably lock it to 60 frames. And in doing so, it actually takes a lot of work away from your graphics drivers, your graphics cards, and a lot of the resources in the PC, because it's able to maintain that frame instead of trying to get to the next 70 or 80 or 90. Alright, so we're going to turn to 210, and that should bring us just over Logan. Speed is still okay, climb rate is good. We'll be up on 4,000 feet here now fairly shortly. Yeah, it's looking decent. It's a fairly steep climb, isn't it? Okay, so at 4,000 feet, we'll let our speed pick up a little bit, keeping an eye on RPMs. And around the 2,500 is going to be fine for what we want to do. Cool. loads of different views. So we'll have a bit of background music here. So with the PC, the last machine I had was an i7 7700K, and that went anywhere from kind of 3.8 to 4.2 gigahertz. That's the clock speed, and its single core speed was quite good. So you know, up to 4.2 is decent. I had 32 gigs of RAM, and the speed was alright. I think it was 2400, and I had a GTX 1080, which was an 8 gigabyte graphics card. So for X-Plane, like, it's fine, it's not a bother. The reason behind the new build, mainly for the new simulator on the horizon, but also to squeeze that extra bit of oomph out of X-Plane. So we've gone to an i9 processor, the 9900K, and that has a base speed of 3.6, and it turbos up to 5 gigahertz, which is great. So I have this running at 5 gigahertz now. In the graphics department, we're running the RTX 2080 Ti, which is an 11 gig graphics card, and that's a total game changer. Not necessarily just for X-Plane, but for any other sim or game you might have to have it. It just kind of laughs at them. It does run quite hot though, so you got to watch your cooling and what way your fans are and liquid cooling and all this. And then our RAM, we've increased the speed. We're up to 3000 megahertz, and it's running 64 gigs. And I have X-Plane now on a M.2 drive, an NVE, which is considerably faster than an SSD, which is considerably faster than a hard drive, a standard hard drive. So what does that mean for us? What can all that do? Well, it allows us to have our settings pretty much maxed out, with, you know, two caveats: your reflections, and then I can put anti-aliasing all the way up, but it just kind of slows down the smoothness. And you know, I love the eye candy. I really like having the sim looking great, but stability has to be number one. Like, if it's not going to work, if it's going to be stuttering, there's just no point. So as we're coming over Logan here, okay, I'll look to right here. And we have Boston. Something different in the stream as well. Bit of music, just to kind of, I don't know, add to the atmosphere. Yeah, John, like an SSD with X-Plane, it's kind of a baseline requirement. Now, in saying that, a lot of your storage for your scenery, I mean, most of that's going to be fine on external hard drives if you want, because X-Plane will load it in. You might have an extra minute or two loading time, but it'll load in what it needs. But in terms of the system files and the files that X-Plane needs, yeah, you need to have them on the ready. Okay, so as we're passing the city here, we're going to make a right turn, heading to 300. So this scenery, it's all default. This is all stock X-Plane, except for the ortho tiles, which are your ground textures, but everything else, that's pretty much what you get out of the box. And there's quite a bit of it. Like, there's a lot of detail being loaded in here. Tons and tons and tons of ground scenery. You run your scenery on an internal M2. What are the loading times like? Because I've been toying with the idea, like I've X-Plane running on the M2 and it's fast. Like it's you know, turn on the program, within kind of 10 seconds you're selecting your flight and you're good to go. Yeah, that's fair enough, John, yeah. Are you running beta 13 or 14? So this one here, this is beta 13. And as I said, there was an issue with stuttering and like this slingshot elastic band kind of an effect. The way around that is just cap your frames and seems to be fine. Yeah, no, I'm happy enough for 14. Like I was on beta 4 for ages, for so long, because it was stable for me on the last PC I had. And when I started configuring this PC, it came across a couple of problems. I lost ground shadows, the loading times just went really slow and they shouldn't have been. And like that, you know, you delete your preferences, delete your shaders. So beta 14, like they're so close now to a release candidate, I think. So anyone who hasn't tried the betas yet, you know, with Vulkan, it is fantastic. I was getting huge errors the last time in OpenGL, you know, and that's European flying. You take off from Ireland, you go over the UK, which would all be Orbex, and you'd find that it would run out of memory somewhere around Holland if you're flying off into Germany or whatever. And I have to say, with this, it hasn't happened once. Really nice scenery here, and it's all default. How I heard of this place, Catstraight, I think this is his local airfield, or Beverly is. and I just said I'd have a look, see what the area is like, and it looks beautiful. Alright, we'll do another Yui. We're going to head back towards Boston. One thing I will say, when it comes to X-Plane and the new Microsoft Flight Sim, you know, like it's, which, you know, don't get me wrong, Flight Sim looks amazing at times. Depends what you're doing with it, I suppose, but for everything that you can see, it looks fantastic. It's a beautiful world, the weather is amazing. But I will say for X-Plane, that scene ahead of us, it's just pretty decent looking. Okay, do something a bit with the clouds. As far as the aircraft go, X-Plane has phenomenal aircraft, and like, even this is Carenado, which Carenado, when they worked with Thranda, I think, were really, really good. Without Thranda, but this Cessna 172, I have pretty much all of Carenado's aircraft. This is by far, I think, their best. Like, it's visually stunning. The physics are thereabouts. It mightn't have some of the features alright from the Airfoil Labs one. And the G1000 is the default G1000. But, you know, apart from all that, it's excellent. And like what we've seen, or what we are seeing from the likes of X-Enviro and Ultraweather XP, there's turbulence. And even SkyMax Pro, all them weather engines, they're all bringing their own thing to the table. If some genius can, like, I don't know, sit the three of them down, collaborate one fantastic product, you couldn't compete with it. That's nice and bumpy. I'm not sure will this actually show us on the map. Like next rad, we're not going to see turbulence of that. So heading back towards Boston. Frames are fairly alright. Getting back to Flight Sim, okay, with scenery, by using satellite imagery, you're only going to get so close. And Austin was talking about this in a podcast he did with Threshold a couple of weeks ago, whereby he was saying that, you know, with satellite imagery, which is fine, you know, it kind of breaks immersion in places because you have shadows burnt onto the ground regardless of what time your sim is at. You do have a headache when it comes to seasonal textures, and then you have the placement of objects on top of the satellite imagery. Now Orbx, what they do is phenomenal. Most of their stuff, that's where all the work comes into. You know, they got to color correct it, they got to tidy it all up. With Microsoft Flight Simulation, you know, it's Bing Maps, and they use this photogrammetry, which, from what we've seen on the trailers and the photos, it looks amazing, like absolutely spot on. But the coverage in Ireland, how good is it going to be? Like, if you go onto Bing Maps now, you can put in the area that you live, and if they haven't photogrammatically set your area using the satellite data and buildings, it's hard to know how much better than this it'll look. Yeah, that's another thing, John, like with Microsoft Flight, all the add-ons, so like for me to have X-Plane looking as it is now, and like, yeah, there's still issues. It has all this kind of jaggedy lines and flickering and shimmer, well, not so much shimmering, but you know, yeah, there's an issue with like draw distance and objects that are far away, all these lines and stuff, and the sheer amount of add-ons and plugins. So like if we go in here, okay, AutoGate is probably not using it, Air Hauler is not using it, the AVI tab on this aircraft, no, Gizmo not necessarily for this aircraft, MaxFX, yeah, okay, but that's only changing the colours. Between the graphics, the add-on aircraft, the add-on airports, the add-on textures, weather injection, sounds, there's a huge third-party development thing there. But as far as I know, like that's coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator as well. You're going to have PMDG's 737s in it. Speaking of ortho textures, there was a new, where did I see that? There was a new release, if any of you guys like flying around Ireland. Where did I see this now? Vertical Sim. Okay, if you go onto the thresholdx.net and just have a look under scenery, Vertical Sim release, they have these V countries or V states. Basically, they look at all the ortho imagery and they color correct it, so you're not flying through different color tiles along your route. But they've just released a texture pack for Ireland, V countries. Now it's a whopper. It's like 50 gigs. So I've downloaded it and installed it, and it's excellent in places. Like, it's as good as Orbx. Now I think the zoom level is 16, so you want to be up at around kind of 3,000 feet or above to really appreciate the detail. But yeah, if you like flying in Ireland, this thing is just, you gotta get it. Okay, another 180 now. I need to double check does it cover north and south. It definitely covers the south, and there's only one area I found that it wasn't excellent. Because it showed 1 or 2 tiles, but it's the first release, so they'll figure it out soon enough. But certainly if you're flying around, like I've flown Dublin to Cork, Waterford, Sligo, and pretty much everywhere else in between, and it's very good. Hey Black Knight, how's it going, dude? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, 46 gigs, like it's a monster. And like that's only your download. Thanks, John. See you soon, buddy. Take care. Black Knight, have you downloaded it yet? A nice shot of boss in there. Right, Rudder, beautiful looking sim. Want to show your max FX settings? I will, of course. Black Knight, yeah, when I installed it, man, it took so long. So, Max FX. This is what I have. So I've selected Power User. And they're ever so slightly tweaked. Actually, I never tried this. If I save this. I'll find out where they've saved that, and I'll try and link it back into the description if you guys want to download from there. MaxFX, it's over on the X Aviation store. I was in 2 minds of getting it. I didn't know how well it would work in Vulcan, or you know, it's a relatively old product, but it does what it says in the tin. I mean, the left hand side is standard X-Plane, the right hand side is MaxFX. It just makes that little bit of a difference. So subtle, but it makes it. What do you guys think of the in-flight entertainment? Bit of music just to kind of break up the hum of a Cessna engine. It's all about chilling out. Right, rudder, yeah, no problem, dude. Kind of standard explain, it is a little bit washed out, and depends where you fly in the world. You can argue for or against how real it is. But yeah, I found with the settings I have, that's as close as my eyes kind of see it. You're using the X-Pilot mesh. I've never tried that actually. I must have a look into it. You're still rocking the 4790K is a phenomenal processor. 1060, like again, you know, I have the 2080 in this, what is it, the TI, and it doesn't have a huge impact on what X-Plane is doing. Like I'm looking at GPU-Z and it's, you know, 60% utilization. I was getting about 70% maybe of a load on the 1080. So there's not a whole lot in it. We played that. Yeah, we'll play that. Why not? So as we're flying along here, we're going to be turning right shortly to head us back up towards Beverly, in for a landing. You can pretty much do it now actually. Beverly Regional, accept that. And we'll go to nav mode on the autopilot. Probably not the most fitting of soundtracks, but there you go. It's gas, right? Even with a relatively beefy machine, you know, I put in the Flight Factor A320 earlier on, and like I'm getting 28, 29 frames sitting in Dublin. I was just like, what? This would be kind of marginal VFR. Okay, altitude, we're going to head for 2,000 feet. Sticking into VS mode, and we'll go 500 feet per minute. Bring our speed back here a little notch as well. Yeah, I suppose you're right. Aerosoft's Dublin version 2, I think. They could probably do another update to that. But I don't know, is it just me? It's gas. I remember in FSX, Dublin used to completely lag. On P3D, it completely lagged. In X-Plane 10, it kind of lagged. Now on the other sim, it doesn't lag. We're about 6 minutes out. Eek, that's a bit better. Okay, go ahead, get our landing lights on. Yes, the unmentionable one. I do have access to it. Can't tell you anything about it now, but I'm just looking forward, kind of, for everyone to have a look at it. I can say one thing though, because they released this, the Donegal scenery, because they showed a snippet of it, looks amazing. As far as I know, like it's one of the most scenic approaches ever. Get our airport in sight. Heading 030. Got ourselves nicely lined up with that runway. Speed is good, altitude is good, temps and pressure is all in the green. Fuel quantity, we're on half tanks. I like this music. So as the sun is setting, we're going to be turning right here on final. Okay, autopilot off. So I do recommend you guys come up and fly this neck of the woods. Beverly, KBVY, just north of Boston here in Massachusetts. Really nice scenery. Alright, bring our speed back here. Bring our mixture to rich. Nose up here a bit, bleed off some of the speed, we got some flaps down. First notch of flaps. A little bit windy on the approach, even though it's reading 1 knot, but there's a gust there of about 6 knots. Second notch of flap. Just under 800 feet here. And there's a tree perfectly located at the bottom of the runway. Methinks that shouldn't be there. So we'll just watch our height coming in. There's a bit of wind. There's another bit. Keeping an eye on our speed here. That was fun. The good thing is we got a whole load of runway. Just watch our speed here as we come in at 60 knots. Any more surprises from the wind? Stay above that tree line. Not too bad. Hold it off. There's contact. Wheels are down. Try and keep it on the center line. Alrighty. Flaps coming in. Tap on the toe brakes here. Taking the next exit to the left. Nice. Park over here to the right hand side up beside that caravan and try not to hit that falcon on the way in, or that guy. Right, welcome back to Beverly. I like this airport. Not sure if there's any custom made stuff for it. Let's have a look on the org. Alrighty. Cool. Taxi off, strobes off. Let's bring our avionics offline. Go ahead and set our park and brake. That's all she wrote, guys. So make sure all the way out. Engine off. Mags. And there we have it. Well guys, that's the story. Thanks a million for joining me for the stream. Hopefully everything looks and sounds the way it should do and is somewhat entertaining. At least if it is, I know I have my settings right. And I'll start working off a schedule now. Is it Creamers? This is Ultra Weather XP. That's given us the textures, and I use FS Global Real Weather as well, and that kind of injects the weather into the sim. But until next time guys, listen, thanks a million for joining me. I'll try and do something maybe tomorrow. So until then, take it easy, and we'll see you real soon.